What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. It is May 23rd. This is like episode 427, I believe. I've been trying to get into the habit of saying which episode it is, so. As far as an update, listen to this crazy shit. I just wanted to talk about this for a second because I always start the podcast with an intro of just how my life's going, you know. If you don't like the intros, then skip them, you know. So, dude, I love my job. I really do. I love my coworkers, you know, they're all cool. But I don't know about you guys, but I have this problem where I don't know sometimes, because I don't know, man. I was in special ed. I told you guys that. And my wife, she's a really good partner when it comes to, I will check with her like, hey, this happened today. Should I be offended by that or mad about that? Because I have anger issues. I've taken like BIP. I've taken, you know, anger management. I've done all sorts of stuff for this mess up here. So, like, my wife has come into the store like, you know, 2 or 3 times. Sometimes she's in uniform, sometimes she's not, because she gets off at 11 o'clock, I get off at midnight. So sometimes she's in the mood for a slushie. She comes by, we got these slushy brands, they're called Brazil. They suck, dude. I don't like them. I like frozen Cokes, man. Or like frozen Mountain Dews, you know, shit like that. I like carbonated frozen. I don't know, she loves them. They're called Brazils. I think they suck. But she came in one time, and I have a coworker that I work with. He's like an older New Yorker guy, and she was wearing her uniform because she had to go to work later that day. And he looks at her and he goes, mm-mm-mm. And I didn't know this at the time, but he didn't know what that was my wife. And I looked at him and I just went, huh? And then she went, why do you do that? I said, I don't know. And so, like, I ring her up, and we're sitting there just talking and stuff. And he's just in the corner, like. And this dude, I love him to death. Look, man, I started out saying, like, dude, I love my job, okay? I do love my job. And I give 100%, you know. I do everything I can to physically, mentally, you know, I come in, nice uniform, I'm always polite. I try to help the customers the best I can. I try to work the best that I can to my greatest ability. I always, every day, give 100%. I love my job and the people. But I do not love the company. I don't love any company. But this guy, the only company I love is Conspiracy Corner Podcast. You know why I love it? Because it's my company. It's my baby. I don't love any company, any corporation. I'm a punk, man. They're all fucking evil at the top of the pyramid of any corporation. So, that being said, this dude, he genuinely, like, loves the corporation. And he has said, like, he used to do talk radio, and he quit radio to work at a gas station. He says that God put him here, and he genuinely, like, loves Clark's. I told you guys before, man, like, they're building a Long John Silver's and a Taco Bell next door. And I'm actually excited for it because I get off at midnight. And I know that Taco Bell's going to be open after midnight, so I can get Taco Bell after I get off work. And we were outside smoking cigarettes one day. And I'm like, dude, it's fucking awesome. Or he goes, man, this is bumming me out. And I go, what? And he goes, them building that Long John Silver's and Taco Bell next door. It's going to kill our food sales. Man. And I just go, I think it's awesome. And he goes, what? And he goes, it's going to kill our food sales. And I go, I love Taco Bell and Long John's. I haven't had a Long John's in years, dude. I can't wait to go eat there. Like, it genuinely hurts him that our food sales are going to go down. Like, when I leave work, I don't give a fuck about work. I don't think about this place. You know, I don't. It's a job. Like, if Clark's goes under, I don't care. It's not going to break my heart. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get another job. Doing whatever. You know, I'm a jack of all trades. So, like, I don't know, he kind of treated my wife rudely that first time, and he didn't know it was my wife doing the whole thing. And then she came in the other night, and she works at a gas station. I work at a gas station, just different companies. Hers is Casey's, mine is Clark's. And she came in after work, got a slushie, and I was doing my paperwork. And I did let her know, I'm like, hey, you do have to leave when I start doing, you know, like, paperwork shit. But I was pre-doing paperwork before we closed. But we were sitting there, we were talking for like 20 minutes, you know, and she's asking questions like, oh, you guys do this with your lotto machine and this. Oh, you guys got this. And he wasn't really saying much. And I think it was pissing him off that I was being so friendly and telling her all these inside secrets, you know. And she leaves, and I don't know, he's just acting fucking weird. And then the other night, like another night, he's like, have I ever met your wife? I said, yeah, she's been in here like 3 or 4 times, dude. And he goes, what? I said, you know the girl? Oh, that night that she was there, though, and me and her were talking for 20 minutes, and she's in her Casey's uniform. He goes, hey, why don't you join our team, man? And I laughed. I wholeheartedly laughed, and I said, hell no, dude. And he went, what? And I said, dude, she makes $18 an hour. She gets 40 hours a week plus overtime. I said, when I started here, they were giving me 2 or 3 days a week, $13 an hour. I was like, she'd be a fool to do that. And I still didn't realize. I thought he knew that was my wife. So I'm like, no, dude. I said, I would be mad if she joined us, man. And I think he was insulted by that. And, because it's the truth, though. That's how they did me when I first started, you know. The only reason I got full-time was because I started bitching enough about it. But, and they didn't want to lose me, I guess. I don't know. I'm grateful, but she so that rubbed me the wrong way. Like, dude, stop trying to downgrade my wife, dude. You're messing with my income. Like, I'll fucking quit this place if you fuck up my income, buddy. Like, she's the breadwinner, homie. What the fuck are you doing? No, she's staying where she's at Casey's. So then, like, the other night, he's like, have I ever met your wife? I said, yeah, she comes in here, like, quite a bit. I said, I was talking to her. Do you not remember? Oh, she's the one in the Casey's uniform? I said, yeah. I said, that's why I wasn't trying to, like, get her to join us, man. I was like, dude, I used to work for Casey's. It used to be Minute Mart. I said, she's worked there for years, dude. I got her a job over there. I said, she's the breadwinner. She makes like $18 an hour. She's a manager. She gets full-time plus overtime. I'm like, yeah. Oh, okay. I thought she was a spy, is what he said. I thought she was a spy. So, dude, you've been treating my wife like dog shit and trying to get her to join a shittier company and trying to fuck up my income because you love Clark's that much. And I don't know, I told my wife about it, and she's like, no, he's toxic, dude. He's fucking toxic. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But I had to get that off my chest. Sorry, it was a longer rant. That's been my life, though. But it just aggravates me, man. Like, and trust me, I love my job and shit, but dude, you're trying to fuck up my income. Like, if I can't pay bills and I ain't got money for gas in the tank, I can't make it to work. So by you having a grudge against Casey's, which is my main income, or if I can't eat enough food and I get sick and can't come into work, you're fucking up my employment where you work. You're sabotaging yourself. You see what I mean? If I can't pay bills and make it to work, that's on you, buddy. So stop trying to convert other people's... Stop giving a fuck about the evil corporation you work for. How about that? Care about yourself. Worry about yourself, dude. My life does not revolve around Clark's, man. I'm sorry. If they fire me, I'll get another fucking job, you know? I don't love any corporation. But I had to rant about that a little bit. Sorry, man. Let's get on with conspiracies. So this was fucking crazy. I was watching one of those TikToker compilation reaction channels on YouTube, because I don't have TikTok. I ain't doing that. That's Chinese spyware. Speaking of China, speak of the devil. So I was watching one of those videos, and no, it might have been Salty Cracker. I think it was Salty Cracker made a video on it. Yeah, it was Salty Cracker. It wasn't a compilation. Sorry. So proper shout out, Salty Cracker, because I, like, unlike other people in the community, like to give out shout outs when I get info from someone. So Salty Cracker, go check him out. And I'll try to remember to plug him in my Spotify when I upload the episode. So, because he has a Spotify. So, anyways, there was a video that came out of China. First of all, I'm always skeptical of any video coming out of China. Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic, you know, when they were showing videos of people dropping dead and shit like that, I don't know. I'm just very suspicious of what is real and what is not of any video coming out of China. But this video was fucking terrifying. So, it came out of a robotics lab called Unitree. The model of robot was an H1 humanoid. And it was in Hangzhou, China. So, this video, it's a robot basically hooked up by the neck on this little crane. And they turn it on. The motherfucker starts flipping the fuck out. I'm obviously sitting in the conspiracy mobile, which is a tiny little Pontiac. I can't show you what it was doing. If you can find this video, go check it out. If you've seen this video, hit me up in the comments, man, because this shit's insane. This motherfucker is like flailing and kicking, like rocking the crane, trying to break free. It came into existence and it's hanging by its neck. I don't know if this thing has any artificial intelligence or any sense of being. But can you imagine just coming into existence and you're just on the gallows with a rope around your neck? Like, I would freak the fuck out. But this motherfucker freaked the fuck out, dude. And, it looks to me like it's going after the dude in front of it. There's a guy in front of it and there's a guy behind it. And the guy behind it kind of gets the fuck out of the way. The guy in front of it is like trying to stop it. It looks like it's trying to kill this motherfucker. And I don't know, man. I'm not going to be a broken record, but you guys know how I feel about AI and robotics and shit. Like, I am a futurist. I believe that we could have a utopia. I am not anti-technology. I'm not Amish over here. I love technology. Hence I have a podcast, you know. Technology could be an amazing, beautiful thing. We could be curing cancer. We could be giving people jobs. We could be... The world could literally be a utopia, but that's not what they want. They want a dystopia, you know. Because they're all like fucking evil, reverse inverted Gaia worshippers, They want Blade Runner, dude. Or the Matrix. So, and it bothers me because it's like, I wonder sometimes, have none of these motherfuckers ever watched like iRobot which iRobot, by the way, is a book. I need to do like a whole series of going through the actual book and shit. Or The Terminator, or I need to do an episode on The Terminator and The Matrix too. Apparently, I didn't know this. The Wachowski sisters, which were brothers, apparently Terminator and Matrix were actually the same series. I think it was like a older black lady wrote the story or something, and they stole it, and whoever made the Terminator stole her story, and whoever made the Matrix stole her story. It was actually technically one story. I'm not sure. We can do a deep dive episode on it. I have a bunch of episodes I need to do in the bank, which I'm off tomorrow and the day after. So I should be able to, knock on wood, put out. If I want to, I probably could put out 4 episodes tomorrow, depending on how I feel and shit. My brother's supposed to call. Might end up talking to him. Who knows? Oh, speak of the devil. I should, knock on wood, be able to start this podcast with my buddy Zach. My Miss McGillicuddy, I don't know what's going on with her. I love her to death. I'm praying for her. But me and Zach are still going to start the podcast. We finally came up with a name, Off the Rails Podcast. I think it's perfect. I'm going to talk to him sometime this weekend or through text or something, and I'll be like, dude, I think we should go with that, because Miss McGillicuddy, she's taking like a break from shit. And I get it, dude. I have to do it. I did it. Dude, go and look back, man. I would disappear from this podcast sometimes for a year and a half. I've done it like 6-month periods. Like, when I burn out or need a break, I take a break. I'm not that guy on Facebook, who says, I'm leaving social media, and then 3 days later, they're like, I'm back, Like, no, I leave for like a year and a half sometimes. I'll disappear and be like, hey, I'm back. You'll just be like, what the fuck? Where you been? I ain't heard from you in a year. Art Bell used to do that shit, man. He would do Coast to Coast AM, and then he would quit for like years sometimes, like 2 or 3, sometimes like 5 years he'd be gone, and then just hop back on the air. Like, I'm ready to go back to work, Which he was a millionaire. He could do that, Maybe that's what Howard Stern needs, But yeah. H1 humanoid freaked out in Hangzhou, China. So, I think this was the same model, since we're on the subject of Chinese robots freaking the fuck out. It looked like the same model. They did a parade marching them around, and another video came out from China of this like parade where they're marching them around, like, check out our new robots who are going to keep their boot on your neck, and all these Chinese people are like, yeah, like sitting at this like guardrail thing, and the robot's standing there next to this guy, and it starts flailing at this woman and trying to hit this woman, and you can see the guard like pulling it back, and the woman's like, what the fuck? These things are Chinese made. You guys already know they make everything like shit in China, except for their DeepSeek shit. They said basically what caused the robot to freak out that was hanging on the noose was imperfect coding, is what they're calling it. I'm not a coder. I don't know much about coding. Yeah, so who the fuck knows, dude? It's just crazy. But I have so many. I'm thinking of titles for this episode in my head. My wife is a spy. Chinese robots freaking out. All right, next subject. All right, so you guys know me. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. We already know. Look, man, I love my nation, but I hate my government. Wisest words I once heard from a man I cannot quote. I don't remember his name. But it's a good quote, and I live by it. I love my nation, but I hate my government. I do feel that America is the last bastion of the most free nation on this globe, plane, whatever, realm. Canada was dystopian as fuck during COVID-19. COVID-19 lifted a veil for me. UK and Canada were dystopian as fuck. Get the fuck out of Canada, dude. And there is a part of me that's like, Trump, make it a 51st state or 52nd state, whatever. Let's free them. Bring my people home. We'll be Moses. They just started a hate speech law. Basically, oh, this ain't the story, but I'll go on with this story. This is a different story, but they created a hate speech law that life. Oh, you can be imprisoned for hate speech, but it's basically here's what makes this so fucked up. You can be imprisoned for like a post years ago for hate speech, but here's the loophole of how they're like imprisoning people. Is like, let's say I posted I love Adolf Hitler on Facebook, and then Facebook bans me, so I can't get back into Facebook to delete that post. They can get me for a post 5 or 6 years ago that I have no access to, that I cannot delete, impossible for me to delete. So I've always said this, man, that the internet is a bad thing for the Illuminati, the elites, whatever you want to call them, because there's a permanent record for what they say, what they do. Even if you have like old VHS shit, pre-internet footage, you can transfer that to digital. You can get it on a computer, you know, and get it on the internet. I love every few years you'll see original OG footage of 9/11 pop up, and then it'll all get deleted, and then 3 or 4 years later it'll all pop back up again. It's a fun game that us in the community have been playing for a while, but it also works against us. So like, this is an unfair law, dude. So how the fuck, if I posted I love Adolf Hitler, if I was a Canadian citizen 5 years ago, they deleted my account, whatever, but my post is still up, I can't go back, and they blocked me from accessing it. I can't go back and delete it. But with this new hate speech law, I can be imprisoned for something I said 5 years ago, and I have no way of deleting it or retracting it or whatever, because I'm banned. This is fucking crazy. This is sad. This is how dystopian Canada is. If you're in Canada, get the fuck out of Canada, dude. So I wanted to talk about that. There's another subject. So we talked about robots, my wife being a spy, Canada's totalitarianism. Let's see what the next subject is. I think we got time for one more. So this came from a video I was watching, Minutes of Horror. Shout out to him. Go check his channel out. I get a lot of scoops from him. He's a dope ass channel. If you don't know who he is, go subscribe to him. Tell him who sent you. Maybe he'll give me a shout out one of these days, because I've given him a bunch. But he posted a video from another channel called Glam Ham on TikTok, so go check her out. Tell him who sent you, blah, blah, blah. You already know. There was footage in Elkhorn Airport, Tennessee. I need to talk to my brother or send this to him. Of a helicopter around the airport with a metal circle on cables flying around. And someone figured out what the fuck they were doing. It was, by the way, a military helicopter, it looked like. They're searching for minerals, like lithium, you know, minerals for, you know, like, because Kentucky and Tennessee is rich as fuck. Our soil is rich as fuck with minerals and shit like that. Minerals for computer chips, shit like that, dude. Lithium is really big right now. And you guys already know, we covered, what was it, Hurricane Helene, and we covered the other hurricane. There's several episodes we did on it. Go check that shit out. These episodes are timeless, and like I said, conspiracy is a spider web. It all ties together. That shit is land grabs, dude. All these hurricanes, we all know they can control the weather. It's land grabs. They want smart cities and they want lithium mines. We are in the next, not the industrial era. This will be a different era. What does Klaus Schwab call this? Fourth industrial complex, I think. They want smart cities. They want lithium mines. They want robotics. They want Blade Runner, baby. Yeah, it's terrifying, dystopian. These are like anti-futurist, you know. So I don't know. If you're in Elkhorn, Tennessee, I wonder, I'm gonna have to talk to my brother, see how close he is to Elkhorn. And if he knows about that. The theory is that something might go down over there. I'm not sure. And I talked to my wife last night, man. We're getting hit here in Kentucky with strange weather. I'm from Florida, so I have to ask her, like, I'm like, dude, the whole conspiracy community is talking about Kentucky, that this is strange weather. I said, is this? Because I don't know. Is it strange weather? I'm from Florida, homie. She's like, yeah, this actually is bizarre. Like, we're getting our ass handed to us with tornadoes and storms. And I'm like, okay, I believe you then. You're a native here. You know more than me. So, I don't know if you're in Elkhorn, Tennessee. They're looking for minerals. I think the U.S. military, because like I said, it looked like a military helicopter. So, let me know if you guys have seen anything strange over there, or let me know if you guys, if anyone is like a green witch over there or a geomancer who knows anything about what type of minerals you guys got over there. I know we got a shit ton of limestone over here. My wife, she's really big into like rocks and shit. I'm an occultist and she's into the occult also. She does tarot and she dabbles with it like me, you know. I'm more into it than her, but I would consider her like a witch, you know. Let's see. I think honestly we're gonna wrap it up there. And I'm sorry about the intro being so long, but I had to talk about that shit. And honestly, I like talking about my life on this channel. Because my thing is people get mad, like, just get to the point. And I'm like, I'm not, you know, fucking minutes of horror. I'm not. This is a podcast. And podcast is long form talking. That's what I enjoy doing. And I don't know about you, but I listen to podcasts. And I listen to podcasts because I love the host. If I didn't like the host, I wouldn't listen to it. So if you don't want to hear just random everyday shit, don't listen to my channel. I talked about 4 different conspiracies in this one episode in 30 minutes. I think that's pretty good, dude. You know, you got a banger today. But please like, share, and subscribe. Tomorrow I'm going to go to the bank, hopefully, and hook up a buymeacoffee.com account. I'm trying to get that set up so I can make a little bit of money and eat a cheeseburger every now and then. and make some conspiracy trading cards that would be fun to start collecting and sell to you guys and shit. I'm trying to make a living, you know. I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 500 subs. I gained one last night, so thanks for subbing. Y'all have a good day.